actually ran the title company, used to be Variable Abstract and Title here in town, Beulah Osgood, Norma Sims' old office. Well, when three attorneys, Wade Williams, Matt Bishop, Greg Thurman, purchased that company, they hired me to come over and run it. So I was the Director of Operations at Kings River Title. Before that, I actually graduated. I went to NSU in Alcoa, Oklahoma. Graduated with an undergraduate. I taught school for 3 years, taught history, coached football, wrestling. That's the background. I loved it. Had a wonderful time doing it. It's a real opportunity to minister, but I just always knew that I was going to go on and go to law school, and so I did. I came to the University of Arkansas, went to law school, graduated there with honors, was part of law review. I had all these all these credits, all these wonderful things that look real good on a resume. But those are not necessarily the things that are going to make me qualified for this position. I mean, I think the things that are probably would make me more qualified is the fact that I did have a heart to serve. The fact that I'm a father to 6 kids, that has taught me a lot of patience and a lot of understanding. Oh, I say 6 kids. It's 5 kids. I got 1 on the way, so it will be 6. So, I went through the process of starting a company. We went. Variable Abstract and Title had been around for a long time. It was purchased by Kings River Title, and so I went through all the processes it took to get that company up and going, and actually it did wonderfully well. We grew, opened up an office in Fayetteville, opened an office in Rogers, and we took a Carroll County company and expanded it so that it was the largest privately owned title company in the state of Arkansas, which is really pretty remarkable. And so I know what it is to try to run a business. I also know what it is to get started. One of the things that in order for me to be able to run for this office, I had to give up that job. And I loved it. I loved the people I work with. There's still some great people there. But in order for me to do that, I was going to have to become and go independent. So in January, while I was about ready to kick off a campaign, I was also kicking off my law practice, which is kind of difficult. But one of the things that has enabled me to do is actually deal with people with the issues that they're seeing, things that are coming down from Little Rock and really affecting them. I have one gentleman, really nice guy. He'd like to be able to start a dairy farm here in Carroll County. Right now there's one, I think. And what he'd like to do is start a small dairy farm. Well, that's impossible. I mean, really it is. And that's what basically I have to tell him. What he'd like to do is take that, have something he can establish, pass it on to his kids, but he doesn't have that opportunity because of regulations and so forth. And so anyway, those type of things has really sparked my interest. What really got me and made me decide that I did want to run and I needed to run was I was down in Little Rock at a coalition. A bunch of pro-life groups got together and went down to Little Rock. And they were dealing with different things that they could do because really we are really close to stamping out abortion in Arkansas, which is a huge blessing. I mean, I see that as could be one of the greatest achievements that this next legislative session takes care of. So, but we were down there and we were all broke up in these different committees, and one of the committees that they put me on was a committee for recruiting candidates. And so I was there, and there was actually Linda Collins Smith, who at that time was a Democrat and has now switched over to the Republican, made the comment that it's not a matter of getting people who are right on the issues, because 70% of the people down in Little Rock are pro-life. The issue is getting somebody who's right on the issues, who's going to show up at the committee, people who are going to vote, people who are going to call for a voice vote on issues, whether it's abortion or any other conservative, any other Republican issue. People who are willing to take a stand against a system down there that tends to corrupt people. And so my heart was to do that, to be that man who would go down there, who with the understanding knows there is a lot of pressure down in Little Rock, but to go down there with convictions, because that's who I am, and to go down there and try to really make a difference in running down there. So that's why I gave up a job that I love. That's why I'm working really hard, spending a lot of time trying to work a campaign and also develop a practice. My practice consists of real estate. I'll do transactional stuff. I'll do estate planning. I really basically have to stay out of the courtroom because most of the time it's kind of difficult to decide if I'm on the right side or the wrong side of some of those issues. So what I want to do is always be on the right side. I mean, as much as possible, I try to live a life that is surrendered to the Lord, and I just want to try to go that direction. And so that's it. I mean, this is basically, I've been called. Whether I like it or not, this is what I was called to. And the truth is, I've had the most fun. I've met so many really great people. For every jerk, there's 100 wonderful people out there that I've ran into. I mean, it's really been quite an experience. And the only part that's difficult is this, standing up and talking and mingling. But you know what? I really have just been really blessed to do it, and I'd love to be able to get down there and see what we can do about reforming the tax structure. Right now, we pay the highest state income tax of any of the states that surround and touch Arkansas. We pay higher gas taxes, and everyone talks about gas prices. Well, part of the problem with gas prices in Arkansas is we pay higher gas taxes than every state that surrounds Arkansas. We're number 7 in total taxes for the nation. But you look at some of the services that are offered, and somehow we're down at the bottom of all these other issues, or all these other things. So the way I look at it is we could go and we can make reform. People talk about jobs, and jobs are important. We've got to add jobs. We need to do something to do that. And one thing we can do is reform our tax structure, make where people can locate here, and they won't have to pay individuals as much to live a high standard of life. We've got District 97 is a really neat place to be. In fact, District 97 is a brand new creation. It didn't exist before this last year. Last year, the district that was in Carroll County was essentially Carroll County with just one small part of Boone County. Well, now the district has encompassed a lot of different really great communities. One community that's in that is Berryville, which is the community that I've been a part of. But it's kind of neat because when we expanded with the company, I moved over to Hinesville, so now I've got to be in Madison County. I'm past president of the Chamber of Commerce, so I got to be in here, Kiwanis, all the things here in Berryville. But I've also had the opportunity to go down there and live in Madison County and have neighbors down there. So really, it's a blessing to kind of have unified the district to some extent that's really been kind of spread out. So